are watching and listening to the Satellite Trampoline 3 podcast with your hosts, Rich Clinton, Thom Tessandori, and Andy Macon. Join us as we discuss anything but politics.
Save me. I don't think I can save myself. Help me.
Oh, everybody okay?
Yeah, it's an interesting morning. It's like all of them are interesting at this age, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Andy
it's a morning.
Andy was just telling us that he had curry, and I said that in my 50s, it's harder on the day after.
Yeah,
like Taco Bell, right?
But that shit went right through you back in the day. You just didn't tell anybody.
Right.
It was like
True.
testosterone-filled masochistic machismic pride. No, I can hold that shit in. I can.
See, but the thing that Taco Bell missed, and they totally missed a marketing ploy. It's like they could have actually ran, no pun intended, with the idea that it could be used as a laxative, and they could add that whole market, right?
A whole PR career has passed you by, young Mr. Clinton. Oh, yeah. Hey, no, dude, you should treat us as positive. You totally should. Look, some people get the shits. Advertise that shit. Right?
Yeah.
Have a tonic with your Pepsi.
Yeah, constipated, have a taco. Yeah.
I'm going to press record right now, okay?
Recording in progress.
Apparently. All right, let's crack on.
Well, that's what they call
it. This is the first pod.
It is
the first pod,
yes,
right, of Satellite Trampoline 3. We haven't been doing this for weeks. Nothing's been a problem. Yeah. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Just listen and shut up. Everybody's happy. We're all three of us. We're just okay.
Ecstatic.
And today we are discussing, once again, even though this is brand new, we've never done it before, bands that we got into or let in later on in life, or the moment when you got a band you previously passed by or didn't like. So what was that for you, Thom?
So I have two bands that I found later on in life, and I consider myself very blessed for that. The first one is Genesis. I was only exposed to Genesis in the 80s with songs like Land of Confusion, I Can't Dance, all that sort of stuff. And then later on, I think probably around 2005, I was leaving rehearsal and somebody gave me a copy of Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. And it did not leave my CD player in my car, because that's how we listened to music then, for ages. Yeah. For ages. I mean, Bedbugs and the whole... Peter Gabriel being all super weird and stuff. Like, I only knew him as weird, so it was like weird to see him weirder. So that was my first one. That was my first one is Genesis, discovering it at a later age. And the other one's a little. It's funny because it wasn't until my wife started playing this quite a bit, but Talking Heads. I always loved Talking Heads, and that crazy. What was that? Burning Down the House video would always come on MTV, and that had mega heavy rotation, yeah. And we have been celebrating the entire catalog for the last like 5 or 6 years. So again, another band that was sort of deemed weird the first time, the first time around, and now I'm kind of like, oh, he took like I guess I don't know, I was too young or I just didn't get it or something like that. So
yeah, man. Were you, at the time when you heard Talking Heads and you didn't get it, were you in a, did you have your own clique? Did you have your own musical clique at the time? Were you listening to a certain thing that had a certain, like for me, I would have the heavy metal stuff. So I'd have my, heavy metal t-shirt, and I'd have my bullet belt or whatever, and I'd have my, my heavy metal uniform. And so even though I secretly could listen to other stuff, it was under the guise of, you don't really want to advertise the fact that you like this stuff because that guy doesn't, and that guy doesn't, and that guy doesn't. And you go drinking with them and play music with them, and their sphere is so small. Did you have any of that?
Just 100%.
Right.
100%. Yeah. Oh, my friends were into Judas Priest, and we were kind of learning all those riffs and rat riffs and sort of like, guys I played music with, they probably would have poo-pooed it. And I think I got exposed Well, not to Genesis, because these sort of came later in life. But when I was a kid, I was exposed to ZZ Top through friends' fathers that just had the records laying around, and we're like, "What is this?" And it's like, I don't think I should be liking this, but I do. Like it kind of rocks, and like, why is that guy's beard so long? Sort of thing. Like it's this sort of, I mean, that's a different question, but yeah, no, for sure at the time, and I think that the sphere or the scope of influence definitely has a huge factor on what we're exposed to and what we're sort of accepting in our own musical life as well. So that's a great element to add too, Andy, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think also it's like music came to us a lot slower back then. I mean,
oh yeah.
Number one, you had to search it out if you were really interested in expanding your whole universe of musical knowledge, but it just trickled in. I mean, it was the same unless you had older siblings, which none of us did, you had to rely on other family members like an uncle or a cousin or something, or the radio. And mine was the radio a lot because my dad listened to a lot of music, and some of it, sunk in, but a lot of it wasn't really what was going on. It was like kind of when I came online, when I was about 12, he would go to record stores and he would take me with him, and I'd just look at the records. I had no clue. Not a clue in a million years. But I think what you're saying, Tom, about the whole, and we are all kind of probably in the same boat as far as the whole peer pressure thing. It's like, I can't like that because, my group doesn't like that, and they'll ostracize me, and, I won't be cool anymore or even accepted. But ZZ Top, it was like that. It's like, all I knew was like they played 2 or 3 songs on the radio over and over again, and then you get to a certain point and you go, oh my goodness, there's a catalog. These guys have been around a long time, So, and the whole idea there was different genres of music, even in the rock world. It's like prog and metal and everything else. And it's like, so slow to be able to pick up on that stuff, But with Tom with ZZ Top, I was the same way. It's like everybody liked ZZ Top. It's like, they're very of their region, their time, and so it was a little odd for us on the West Coast.
Yeah. I mean, the whole barrier to admitting that you liked other stuff. I remember a guy I was on a school bus with. He was a year older than me, which back then was 1,000 miles older than me. It got me into sort of Metallica and that sort of stuff, the sort of heavier stuff at the time. And he was such a sort of card-carrying member of the heavy metal brotherhood, right? And then he lent me a compilation tape. He'd done a compilation tape, all this sort of stuff. And there was like 4 tracks of Elton John on there, right? And I listened to it. I was like, Elton John. I like Elton John. I thought, hang on a minute. Why? So I said to him on the bus next time, I said, load of Elton John on there, isn't there? He went, yeah, don't hate me. I just really like Elton John. And it was like, it's okay. And I was like, no, it's okay. I wasn't brave enough to mention the shit that I liked.
Right.
The stuff that wasn't, weapons grade heavy. But yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We didn't have much wiggle room because you found your tribe. And even though that tribe is lovely and welcoming, it can be so limiting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
At your school, I mean, I don't know how it was for you, but my school was very, derogatory towards certain types of music. Remember, especially the metal crowd, and metal was really big, when I was getting into high school. And of course I was a metalhead, but I loved everything else too. They full on brought Journey albums to school and smashed them. Like some sort of fascist thing, it's just like, this is not real, what's the death to false metal?
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's like, how dare you even play an electric guitar? This is with a proper singer, and they were just, yeah. And we're all standing on the side. It's like, I like Journey.
Or keyboards. I remember that. Oh, dude, that band has keys in them, so that's super lame or something.
Yeah. I remember reading the back of a Queen album, and it's saying absolutely no synthesizers were involved in this. And then 1984 came out, and it was just, well, even the drums are fucking keyboards now. I mean,
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
are you going to still announce that, are you? You know, it was
Right.
but yeah, keyboards were like, no, don't have keyboards. And now, I mean, I can't get enough of keyboards.
Yeah.
You know, just desperately trying to find a keyboard player for my band, and it's been an absolute nightmare just
Yeah,
to find
tell
someone
us
because
about it.
there's hen's teeth, right? You know what it's
We
like.
know what that feels like. It's
Yeah,
the same
I think
thing.
everybody does, you know, because if it's a keyboard player, it's like a bass player. Usually they are fucking busy, you know, and it's like a drummer. They're like in 12 different bands, you know?
Well, and we have the problem that like we don't need Rick Wakeman.
No, exactly.
And I feel that you either have people that dabble, like us, with the keyboards, and then there's full-on players. And then what we really want them to do is something kind of in the middle. You know, we're not going to have these big, you know, flourishes or anything else. We just really need the songwriting aspects that you get with keys that, you know, and it just filling in spaces and just basically we need like Richard Barbieri, you know.
Yeah.
Or Mark Kelly
it's
from
hard.
Marillion, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I know a guy, Rob, who actually just fills that territory where it's perfectly, completely competent, incredibly competent, progressive pop rock keyboard player, amazing guy, and really just serves the song. And like you say, it fills in that gap that you didn't know was needed filling, but suddenly it's a massive quadraphonic thing rather than that limited thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, going back to bands that we got into. Rich.
Tom said he had two.
What was the other one, Tom?
It
Oh, you
was-
did Talking
yeah,
Heads.
Talking
and,
Heads, yeah.
Talking
Genesis.
Heads. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't
yeah.
listening.
That's all right. I'm writing stuff down because, like, you know, I barely know who I am.
Yeah. So mine was the Beach Boys, and it was really. We've talked about this before. The fact that over our ramblings, the fact that, you know, a band will be heralded or a musician will be heralded, you know, as a genius or, you know, just something bigger than what you see on the outside. And of course, the Beatles, much like the Beach Boys, when you go back and you start at the beginning, it's like, that's very different than how they ended. And the thing,
Yeah.
as an aside, what blows my mind is how little time is actually involved with what they sounded like in the beginning into what they turned into. We're talking about both bands less than a decade. But, you know, I just kept hearing Brian Wilson is a musical genius over and over and over again. It's like, I don't get, you know, surfer girl and all this. I don't see how you can consider that to be genius. I mean, is it good? Yeah. Did they craft their own sound? Yes. But genius? I don't know. So finally, I just felt like I'm doing myself a disservice by being basically ignorant, willfully ignorant. And it's like, there's a catalog out there that I've never heard. I can't just cut it off like it being saying, this is what they sound like and I'm done, because that's on me. And so I started delving into some of the later albums, especially from Pet Sounds, because it was Pet Sounds that was the catalyst to the jumping off point from everything else. Because, you know, when people are saying this is the greatest album of all time, it's on the list. It's at least in the top 5 greatest albums of all time in every list. Mm-hmm. And in a lot of those lists, it's number 1, you know. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll give that a listen. Of course, we know 3/4 of the songs right off the bat, you know. As I think I needed to be in a certain headspace as a musician and to understand really what was going on and from the time frame that it was happening. It's 1966. Everything's analog. Every piece of music that's put on that album is coming out of one person's head. That's Brian Wilson. All those arrangements, a bass fucking clarinet, for God's sake, you know, a bicycle bell at only a certain point twice in one of those songs. You know, dogs barking at the end, which seems very whatever, you know, with the trains in the background, very ambient. It's like all this shit. It's like he's making a story. And the limitations of what he had at the time and bringing, you know, it's just, it was crazy. So delving into that, jumping off point and the albums that came afterwards, like Sunflower, 2020, Friends, Surf's Up, Holland. It's just, Yeah, that,
Yeah.
you know, it
Yeah.
just the maturity and just the genius and the arrangements and the feeling, and it just blew me away. It still blows me away. And I feel strange when I walk away from it and I come back to it. I'm like, why did I ever leave this? It's like, you know, like a guitar, right? Like all your guitars back. There's one of those guitars. It's one of those guitars you haven't touched in a long time. I don't know which one it is, but then you pick it up and you go, why haven't I played this in, you know, a year?
Sure.
That's it. That's what the Beach Boys are to me when I go back and listen to put on Friends or something. It's like, it's instantly, you know, just, it's a warm blanket, you know. But that's the band. It's like, and much like other bands, I've had to go back, and Roxy Music, it was another one. And it really wasn't the fact that, it was just like I was a little bit more, I don't know, I wouldn't say willfully ignorant. We just didn't have a lot. Roxy Music never really hit us. Roxy Music for us hit with Avalon.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
white
literally,
suit.
I mean, Avalon is post Eno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the early stuff, their early stuff was remarkable, really, and it never really hit me until later in life. But it's going back to the Beach Boys, especially sort of '66. I think the other thing that we forget is that we didn't get to hear them the first time round when it was brand new, not only to them writing it, not only Brian Wilson writing it, but also to the people listening to it. And I think it's the same, just that whole cultural change with the Beatles as well, was, you know, Sgt. Pepper comes out, the White Album. I mean, we were already aware that they existed when we were first listening to things.
yeah,
And so that cultural shift that happened around that time, from sort of, you know, 57, 56 to all the way to 70, where it was just this, right?
yeah.
But it didn't hit us in the same way. So we had to be sort of subjective and look at the actual music itself. So why is this so good? Sans the cultural impact it had.
Right,
Being aware of it, but not affected by it.
right.
So it's the same as when my kids listen to stuff now I listened to it, and it literally affected my world, not just because of the music that was written, but everything that was going on around it. Well, they don't get that. So they just listen to the music and go, yeah, it's all right. It's good.
Yeah.
It does this. It did this. You know?
Right.
And I think you're absolutely right with this sort of, as a musician, when you listen to, especially for me, the Beatles, just the choices that were made, the decisions of how to write and where to put something in that shouldn't work, you know, especially if you put it through musical theory. Well, that doesn't work. That's a dead end right there. No, it isn't. There's no dead ends. Let's go. Yeah. Bang. And listening to it as a musician, you go, Jesus Christ, I'm never going to be that good. I'm never going to be that good. It's just, no one's done it before. So the product of those influences that those guys amalgamated in a very short space of time, birth of rock and roll, and off we go. And before that, what? Antivani and shit? So all that boiling pot of stuff, and then trying to outcompete each other with chords and what can we do, and especially the Beatles, because it was all just about songs.
Yeah.
You know, oh, that's a good song. What's that? Let's do that. Let's, you know. Yeah, later on in life, it's something, yes, now I get it. But without that cultural reference, without that cultural impact, does it hit you as hard? I'm not so sure. No,
I 100%. I mean, there could be an argument to say, could there actually ever be anything original from this point forward? I mean, what could you, I mean, without being completely avant-garde and saying, oh, look, nobody's done this with this. It's like, is there really, so we're talking about people that are creating something that was never there before.
Yeah.
I mean, Western music is there, of course, but I mean, the idea that, and let's not forget that technology at the time, electric guitars are new. There's hardly any effects. You know, the idea of overdrive and distorted amplifiers, that's all just basically fumbled into. Yeah. It's not somebody goes, I would like this sound. Joni Mitchell coming up with the chorus pedal idea, because she would go back and double track her acoustic guitar and liked how they were never perfectly in sync. That's where that came from.
Or
the idea,
or the Who putting pinholes in their speakers.
That was the Kinks.
The Kinks,
yeah.
Ray
with
Davis.
the little green
and
amp.
It was a razor blade.
Yeah.
It was a razor blade.
So, I mean, all these
And it
ideas.
sounded dreadful, but I mean, it really
Well,
did.
it's
But also they had no idea how to record it either.
Right.
Yeah, it's also the mythos around it too, right. So we have this whole sort of, UK versus US as a Beatles and Beach Boys and that sort of thing. And it's funny, Rich, when you started talking about exposure, both of those bands. I'm a little bit of an anomaly. I sort of grew up under a sort of a religious umbrella, but both of those bands, I was exposed to their greatest hits. So when I got a cassette, it was the best of the best, and then I had to figure out what it was, not knowing behind the scenes it's a cash grab or a money or an intellectual property thing that allowed them to put, Good Vibrations on one, cassette and Helter Skelter on the other. And I'm like, this is considered the best. Oh, it's got this history and all that. I'm like, I don't know. It sounds like they're just really angry in the mind of a child, But.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, just to jump back to the Beach Boys for a second, is like, you talk about Brian Wilson being influenced in as far as a competition with the Beatles. That's about it. If you really think about the music that they were making, especially from Pet Sounds forward, this is while Jimi Hendrix is coming out and The Who and all this other. There's no crossover influence from that at all in the Beach Boys music. So I don't know if it was just that Brian Wilson didn't care. Brian Wilson had a singular kind of goal, and this is what he wrote. I mean, his biggest influences were like the Four Freshmen because of all the vocal harmonies and things like that. And that gets carried on throughout, and to be able to still keep your vision and your just your artistic integrity for what you're doing with everything else, a maelstrom. I mean, the civil rights movement, none of that affected what he was doing. At least it didn't musically. You don't see any sea change, what you did with a lot of the other bands. It's like, this is upheaval is affecting us, and we're going to push this into our music and everything. No.
Yeah.
Which I find that's fascinating to me.
I think that vision he had was realized with the technology and instruments of the time. I think Brian Wilson could have been around Vivaldi's time, and it would have sounded how it would have sounded because that's all they had. I think if he'd suddenly had that vision now, it would have been whatever synthesizer and that sort of stuff that, he could have access to now. Imagine all the toys you've got now, right? Someone without brain. Well, we know people without brain, and they go off and do that sort of stuff now.
Right. Yeah.
The difference is that everyone has access to those toys now, whereas back then it was an exclusive club. And he got to paint with all the colors that were available at that time.
Yeah.
And you think about it, the real sort of paint that he liked to paint with were vocals. So everything else was a foundation for that.
Yeah.
And that's really their sort of raison d'etre, is to have that rich harmony, have that beauty.
Yeah.
With not necessarily a nice theme. It's not always the nice themes. It's something, there's always something sort of bittersweet about the Beach Boys. And that's the beauty of it, I think. It makes it more real.
Right. Well, and they've said, and I agree, that, the name hurt them. It's hard to see this huge jump from a band that's singing about, surfing to, mortality and from a band called the Beach Boys, The Beatles, of course, they were lucky that they had a name that was a little more ambiguous, and it's like, it's got a little play on the A in there instead of the EE, so, but it didn't boys, so anyway.
It also too is another testament to the greatest hits, because it was after 10 big ones that pushed them back into the consciousness of it. And then talk about true rediscovery. Rich finds a Rolling Stone article by Patti Smith, sends it to me. We rediscover Beach Boys with Love, which was a retitle of a record where Brian Wilson found, talking back to what you were talking about technology. You're on this side of my screen, by the way. So back to what you were talking about, Andy, about technology, is like he had just got these new synthesizers and we're like syncing up these analog, things with it. And it's this whole record, like we just missed the first time around or whatever. And when you go back and and in true fashion, what we do is we'll, get inspired for something, and then we'll sort of fall down the YouTube rabbit hole and go watch the interviews from the time. And it's all based on, them having this other resurgence. Like the record company gave them a bunch of money, and then they had started Brother Records, and they were all kind of off, doing their own thing. And so it was the coming together of that based on, another greatest hits. So just another synergistic thing, but,
crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Well,
my first greatest hits album I bought, was Black Sabbath. Which, the Black Sabbath greatest hits, it's got the Bruegel cover on it, with all the people being sacrificed. And so
I don't remember that. Well, it might be a UK release, dude.
Oh man, it's so good.
No, I think it's not Sabotage, is it? One of those.
No, it's not Sabotage. No, it's Black Sabbath Greatest Hits. That's what it's called, and it's just Aussie era. It's got the Bruegel painting, which is I forget what it is. It's Bruegel the Younger, so it's like a medieval scene of death and destruction, which was fantastic as a kid. I was like, this is awful and amazing at the same time. And then it's what is this that stands before me? That's the first track.
Oh God,
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, right. I mean,
scary and huge and different and
absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Ozzy sounding like some sort of wounded chicken in the best possible way. I adore him in that period because he had a great voice and it was perfect for that thing. It was like this sort of clear little sort of pushed choir boy thing. It was fantastic over this heaviness. Amazing. Yeah. Greatest hits.
I remember, I think I probably heard Paranoid first for Sabbath, just because that's what I heard first.
Yeah, sure.
As was on the radio. And of course, we're talking about pre-video, and that was one of the earlier videos, was the live version of them.
Orange amps behind them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But it was Black Sabbath, the first album, and the cover and everything is just like this. Nothing else does this.
No.
Nothing else looks like this, with that woman in the castle and the moat and everything. It's all fits the gothic kind of feel of, and then just the music. There's just nothing else. And except for possibly, I know there's this like kind of split amongst people, but there were three that really hit me. And one hit me probably harder than the other two, but the three out of that group, you had Sabbath, you had Deep Purple, and you had Uriah Heep. And for some strange reason, Uriah Heep hit me, especially Demons and Wizards. That's the album. It's just like, it was like a little bit of Sabbath and a little bit of Deep Purple at the same time. And they were derided to hell in this country. Yeah. All the guides and, album guides, Rolling Stone and everything else is just like, inexplicably popular, and they have no idea why Uriah Heep. They're just derivative and all this other stuff. And it's like, I don't know, with all those super
it's funny because
vocals.
I got into Heep late because, I was aware of them, but like Purple and Sabbath had got me.
Yeah.
And they're an amalgamation of both. Well, they're their own thing, but at that time. And then I did an album with Phil, who's the keyboard player in Heep, and I sort of had to catch up, and they're amazing. They've been opening up for Priest in the States and doing massively. I mean, they're still going fantastically well. Yeah, what a great band! Absolutely amazing.
Mick Box is 107 years old, I think now. Still playing guitar. Yeah.
And then again, we've got the big farewell, the Sabbath Aussie thing. In Birmingham. Yeah. Now, I went to the original Big Farewell. I've got the T-shirt in 1999.
Big Farewell, just kidding.
Yeah. System of a Down and Godsmack were on the bill at the Birmingham NEC, and I went to see them. And it was the original Sabbath with Bill Ward on drums.
Wow.
And I'm very privileged to have seen them because that version of Sabbath, the original Sabbath, Geezer and Tony, and specifically built on drums. The swing, man, it just no offense to Vinny Appice, it ain't the same. It was never the same.
No.
And the swing, oh my God, it was like those four guys individually might not be the most amazing musicians in the world, but just the glue that put them together, the movement of that music, it lived and breathed. And to see that in a big arena as well was just outstanding. I mean, I got it, you know.
Yeah.
It was like that greatest hits album. The swing was there. And when, you know, you can listen to Live Evil and all the other Sabbath stuff, and it's great, and it's Dio, and it's fantastic. Of course it is. But the swing had gone, and the swing in Sabbath was something that no one realized, because they were just a big, heavy blues band in Drop C.
Yeah.
You know, really, you know.
They were just always one of the top, within the top 10 bands for me. If you're going to play heavy metal and you grew up in the 70s, it's like, how could they not? I mean, what was metal in the 1970s, right? I mean, even Judas Priest, when they started out, I think I probably came into Priest probably Sin After Sin, somewhere around that era.
Yeah.
Which I don't think, which was probably jumped off from British Steel, because that's when they really just like blew up here in this country. But I went back and got, you know, Unleashed in the East, and it's called Killing Machine in the UK, but it's called Hellbent for Leather in the United States. And then
even that name, I mean, come on, man. That's
just the name, dude.
That's
Just the name.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I like this Priest I like, but here you were either, not you were either, but rule of thumb was you were either a Priest fan or a Maiden fan.
Yeah.
Right. And I had many friends who were Priest fans, and I was a Maiden fan. I really was. And it wasn't competitive or anything. It's just I preferred them, and I didn't really get into Priest as much because I spent all my time listening to Maiden. And then when I got into Priest, it was when they'd gone less metal. And they did Turbo Lover.
Oh,
Do you remember the video for Turbo Lover? I'm your Turbo Lover. Something me no other, right?
Yeah.
I still love that song because it's got that flanger phaser on the guitar. Right?
Yeah.
I love the production on that. It's a dreadful album. It's a dreadful production, and I adore it. It's fantastic. And then they did a live video, VHS, of the tour. And they're all in bespoke, made-to-measure leatherette stuff, you know. And and KK's got his Hamer that should be a V and isn't, and it just looks like it's been 3D printed by Gollum. It's just nonsense. But it's like lots of that, and headbanging, and I'm angry with my dad, that stuff. And Rob's Campus Christmas, just giving it all that with the clicks, you know. And it's fucking amazing. It's rocking. It's so good. And I'll name drop KK because he's lovely. I met him when I was on tour. He just came to say how much he enjoyed my band. Yeah. And just that was enough for me to go, oh my God, like, you didn't have to say a damn thing, man.
Right.
I've just been happy to see you walk past. Maybe even spit on me. And he hadn't. He just come past and he went, ooh. And he made a beeline, shook my hand and went, you sound really, really good. I could never get a good sound in here, but you sounded really good. And then he was ushered off, and that was it. But it was like, fucking KK. You know? That was KK.
Wow.
It was amazing.
You look around, there's nobody near you. You're like,
yeah. I'm like, did anybody? Nobody went, oh. Hey boys, I met KK. Fuck off, man.
yeah, sure.
Go and get me a drink.
Here, I met Glenn.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Oh. Yeah, no, it's lovely.
No, I get it. And we had the Maiden Priest divide here also, much like the Henry's Child Floater divide, which is interesting that we would live in that world.
Yeah.
I remember. Well, I don't remember it. I remember you talking about it.
Oh yeah, it was totally.
And to me, it's like, whatever. We're going to shit on everybody.
That's
how I felt. We're just going to shit on everybody.
Right.
So fuck them.
The Sharks and the Jets, man. It was like, you know. But
the shits.
The shits, yeah. But it was always Priest for me. I think for the simple fact that Maiden was a little later. So
yeah.
But when Priest was always a little more poppy and a little more melodic across the board. I mean, Jesus. I mean, the song that the song United on British Steel.
It's like an anthem.
Maiden would never do that, you know. I mean, so there's really no, for all intent and purposes, Priest are a hard rock band with metal leanings, you know.
Yeah. But the thing is, when they would do extreme stuff, I mean, when Painkiller came out, I mean, that was
completely different. Yeah, I mean, you brought Scott
they
Travis
do that,
in,
wouldn't
you
they?
know?
They do like a heavy album, and then they do like let's do a poppy thing. It's
Point
fine.
of entry,
It's
heading
what
out to the highway. You know, I mean, that's not a metal song. You know, it's heading out to. It's a pop. It's pop. You know.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the thing was, they had the American audience as well, who could appreciate the AOR part of it, whereas in Britain it was more like, well, you don't do that,
right?
You know, can't do that. You know,
they're all. And you're from Birmingham? No.
No, I don't know. It's
Move
funny,
to Sheffield.
What, Duff Leppard? Oh, Def Leppard. Yeah. But then High and Dry, that was a good album. Sort
That's
of like
great album.
AC/DC Light sort of stuff. You know, I really liked it. But I really like Pyromania.
That's where it ends for me. I mean, Hysteria is a fine album, but you know, it ends at Pyromania for me. I
was waiting for Hysteria to come out because they were going to put like, what was it, Animal or whatever the first track was. Yeah. Because they released every song off the album, didn't they? Like Appetite for Destruction. Every song was released, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone. And I was like, I can't wait to see this on Top of the Pops. It'd be great.
Yeah.
And then they came on and they were miming and it was crap. Because I'd gone from listening to Pyromania and really liking it, sort of more, like, it's going to be more rocking like that. And it was just even more pop. And at that time, I just was like, oh, God.
So what you're saying, Andy, is that you didn't lurve it.
I didn't lurve it, no. I didn't.
You have been watching and listening to the Satellite Trampoline 3 podcast. Thank you for your company. Catch us next time.